as you probably know by now, this house structure was built for a competition, and as part of that competition, there were measured activities that occurred in the house. Things like running the shower and producing so much water at a certain temperature. Things like having to run the laundry so many times. Things like having light levels at a certain level for a certain number of hours. Things like that. So when we were looking at putting controls in this house, building automation, and the technology that existed at that time, this was in 2009, was mostly commercial building automation technology. Since then, there has been a lot of new residential type home automation, things like the Nest thermostat, the individual light bulb controllers you can play with on your phone and do things like that. But a lot of that stuff wasn't around and wasn't out back in 2009. You just show how quickly this stuff is changing. But so we looked out on the marketplace and found a commercial building automation system from a company based in Dayton, Ohio, called Weibel Energy Services, and their product called Building Logix. And they have this system installed at a lot of different schools, commercials, office buildings. Any building, any large building you can imagine has a building automation system. So we took that system and working with them, they were a sponsor of our team, we installed a pretty beefy building automation system in this house. And we did everything from controlling all the solar thermal collectors, monitoring all the solar photovoltaic system on the roof, to controlling all the lights based on occupancy sensors and light levels, controlled the energy recovery ventilator. And we also did things like monitor the temperature of the refrigerator to make sure it was keeping in range. That was another thing that the competition had us do. We monitored energy usage on every circuit on the circuit breaker. So you can imagine, maybe you've seen a circuit breaker in your house, maybe 15 different breakers. Well, we had a energy monitoring on every one of those breakers. So we could see exactly what in the house was using energy and how much. So we really had this thing censored out to the nth degree. So it was and is a beefy and capable system, and now that this house has a new usage, I think there's a tremendous opportunity to allow a student group that wants to help reimagine that control system and fit it for the needs of a classroom and for possibly some of the things you want to do with the wetlands and maybe weather monitoring and the solar monitoring and everything around that. There's the capabilities to do a lot of cool stuff, but it's just going to take a little reimagination.